Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios. Season 5 of Chef's Deliciousness and Cocktails starts right now. Woo!
So we're going to get in with you now, Joe Zavala. I want to just real quick. I want to ask one question. How did the Zavala barbecue come to fruition? How was that? Was that something that you took a long time, or something off the cuff, or how'd it come?
So I'll make it quick because I could talk about it all day.
Yeah, we'll circle back around, but I want to know real quick what it was.
Yeah. So growing up, being a Chicano Texican, like every weekend was my dad cooking out.
Yeah.
Making fajitas, making briskets, watching Dallas Cowboys games. Family and friends came over. Me and my wife, we've been together since we were 16, so high school sweethearts.
Have you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. She was a year older than me, but actually she grew up across the street from me, and her father, huge chili cook-off guy, huge barbecue guy. We bought our house in 2016, and I wanted to, get the tradition and make barbecue at my house. So I stole the Oklahoma Joe pit that my father-in-law had at his house. One of my best friends redid the firebox because it was all rusted out.
Yeah.
So July 4th of 2015 was the first time I ever cooked by myself, and started doing it. And my best friend CJ said it was the worst thing he ever tried. So I was like, all right, I got to figure this thing out. And then, I just cooked every weekend. My wife's like, man, this is way too much barbecue. Around November time frame, people started saying, man, this is actually good. And family and friends always say it's good, right? But when you have people that you don't know that says it's good, you're like, okay, maybe I have something. Me and my wife had a whole bunch of student loans. So I was like, hey, why don't we do like, social media only, pre-orders only, and we see where it goes. And, we were going to name it Sally Mae to pay off our student loans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And then, my dad talked to us like, no, you need to name it Zavala. So, we ended up naming it Zavalas. And January 2016, we started in my backyard. We're doing deliveries only all throughout DFW. So my wife wanted to kill me. We're driving to Frisco, to Mansfield, to Uptown, to Trophy Club.
Wait, were you figuring that in the cost?
No, I was an idiot. Oh yeah, I was like $5 delivery cost.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, it was.
You weren't figuring gas, maintenance, tires, none
of that. I was just so involved that I had to do this.
Yeah.
And I had to buy my wife a lot of tennis shoes and a lot of shoes because she was driving, because I was up for 36, 42 hours straight after I got off of my job. And, we just started building a following. And then my best friend CJ pushed me to do a pop-up in Grand Prairie. We did our first pop-up at the Hatch Chili Fest. We had a line. I was like, holy crap. We sold like 6 briskets. We thought we were the coolest people ever. We're like, hell yeah, we made it. And
when you see the line's what makes a difference, right?
Man, your heart just...
Yeah.
And I had all my family and friends there. We had like 20 people helping. And as much as I love them, 20 people helping just really doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. No, it's more of a...
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, then my buddies... CJ started taking over our social media, driving us all over the place to delivery because my wife got tired of, dealing with me.
Yeah.
And then our good friend Drew that we went to high school with also, actually me and CJ went to high school with each other, and Drew, and we all went together with my wife. He just showed up one November at my house when I was cooking with his girlfriend Bonnie, and he's never left. And he's been, a big help. Bonnie runs a coffee shop with Kristen. We have a coffee shop within Zavala's Barbecue that we run also. But it was just, it's just been a journey. And then we knew that if we wanted to make this real, we needed to find a place to actually do it. So we kept on looking for a place in our hometown in Grand Prairie. Nothing came up. And there was this individual that owned a coffee shop there for like 15 years. Jonathan owned the Brass Bean. And we're like, hey, can we do a pop-up every Saturday? We'll pay you and we'll let you keep all the drink sales. He's like, yeah, let's try it out. So we did that. And then boom, we had a write up in Dallas or D Magazine. Then the Texas Barbecue Posse came out. Then we had, some other write ups in Dallas Observer. And I was like, holy crap! Like, we need to actually find a place.
Yeah, you need to find a place. Yeah,
if we're gonna make this grow, right?
Yeah.
And so this old bakery down the street, literally 1 minute from where we were, came available, and Drew and myself went into it, said, yeah, let's do it. So we purchased a building, and February of 2019, we opened our doors, and we were Saturdays only for about a year. And then Daniel Vaughn put us down for one of the best bites and said you can get it on Friday. I was like, oh shit, I guess we better open up on Fridays. So then we started serving barbecue on Fridays, and then it was really great. And then we wanted to get a little creative before COVID. Started doing taco nights. One of our original cooks, he came back and did the Crispitos and cheese. People loved it. And then COVID hit. And then we went into scramble mode, and because all our business, our heart has been pre-orders and delivery only, so we were able to pivot pretty quickly because that was our basis and our fundamental of who we were.
Plus, your business is making, they can just pull up right there and drive off.
Yeah, so we moved the picnic tables, we put a window in and made it drive-through, pre-orders only, and for the first 3 months it was great because everybody was supporting small businesses, and then I get it, people run out of money.
Yeah.
And then I was going through all my stuff.
Toilet paper before barbecue.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you have barbecue, no toilet paper, it's not going to work very well.
Not at all.
Where are you from originally?
Born and raised in Grand Prairie.
Okay, so you are from Grand Prairie.
Born and raised there. I was actually born at the old Grand Prairie, Grand Prairie Hospital that was off Great Southwest. Yeah. And I think it was called DFW Hospital, if I remember right. And my parents bought their house where they still live in 91, 92. And they live 5 minutes from the restaurant. So very close.
So it's all happened right there.
Yeah. And then my best friend CJ lives 1 minute away from there.
Wait, this is the best friend told you the worst thing he's ever tasted?
Yeah. CJ.
That's a really good friend though, right?
He's my best friend.
He could have lied to you.
Oh yeah, he's the biggest supporter because he doesn't hold anything back, but he also pushes me to do stuff that I never would want to do. Sure. Because he reminds me of stuff I've said in the past. He said, Joe, you said this, so you better be true to your word. And he's right. So, he holds me accountable, and it's good.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So you grew up in Grand Prairie.
Did.
You grew up in Grand Prairie, and was your dad from there too? Your family there?
No, actually, my family's from Zavala County, about an hour and a half from San Antonio. Okay. So we're true. Everybody says, what's your inspiration? Every vacation, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, anything, it was going to see our grandparents. Right. And it was down there.
Family.
And all my cousins, 4th of July, we would go get fireworks, get M60s, throw it in bottles with gasoline to see who does anything. Didn't do anything. But, my dad was always cooking out for our family, and friends would come over. And of course, there's cold beer involved all the time. Right. And then even my other side, my mom's side, they had a couple of acres, and, it was all direct pit. Right. It was, carne asada, it was, tripas, it's just all this stuff. And it was always pico de gallo, sausage. Fresh. Yep. Flour tortillas. I know people always say, why don't you have corn? It's I grew up with flour. I'm a Chicano. I'm from South Texas. Even when you go to San Antonio when you eat the breakfast tacos, it's always on flour, right? Flour, yeah. But granted, when we get barbacoa, you got to have corn. We get it.
It's a good flour tortilla.
Oh, yeah. We've had people ask us all the time where you get them. It's somewhere in Grand Prairie. It's funny because locals will run into us there and they smile at us, but we just can't tell people because it's one of our things that we're really proud of. We've been using them for 5 years, and they've been really great to us.
You can't give away all your secrets, man.
We give everything away except the tortillas. And everybody's well, why don't you make them? It's why do I want to make them when somebody's making unbelievable tortillas and I'm supporting a small business also? Yeah. So it's it's a win-win situation on that.
So is your dad still alive?
Yeah, he is. He lives in still the same place in Grand Prairie with my mom. My mom actually works for us. She makes the breakfast tacos in the morning. So she gets there at 4:30 in the morning and leaves around 8. Or actually about 9 o'clock. So yeah, she's there.
That's fantastic.
Rolling the brisket tacos, brisket, egg and cheese, potato, egg and cheese, turkey, egg and cheese, and
she loves it though.
Yeah, and she's proud. My dad's proud.
I was just fixing to ask you that. What age did you start getting involved? What age did you really like when your dad was starting to cook? Because I know when I was a kid, when I had to go to cookouts younger, I was I don't want to go again. I want to do stuff with my friends. So what age did you really start to get involved and really start to like it?
So I would say probably when I was 16, 17, 18, because even with my friends, like, football or whatever, like afterwards like you're always hanging out with them. So, we started doing cookouts at our house. And granted, our cookouts was the pre-frozen hamburger patties, cheap hot dog, bar-S hot dogs. We thought we were living good, right? But, it was just starting a fire and cooking up. Like, I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 16. I started off, or 15. I worked at Six Flags, and I worked at Texas Land Cattle as a busboy, then a Barbeque. And my best friend, I have a lot of best friends, and we're still friends to this day. And Joey, it was like me, Joey, and my buddy Joey, and like we worked at Texas Land Cattle, and we were, I was a bartender. We were bartenders and servers. We it was like a badge of honor. Work like, how many doubles can you work? How many days in a row can you work? Yeah. So we get off like, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I know people don't want to know this, but we had, people go get us some beer. So it would be 18, 19, get some beer. We didn't drive afterwards. We went to someone's house, cooked out, had a couple beers, listened to Texas country, fell asleep, did it all over again. I was in college too. So it was like, wake up at 7 to, get to school. But, it was just, it was always felt like cooking out always brings family and friends together. And no matter what, everybody is so fascinated about the fire. Everybody's fascinated about the techniques. Yeah. Everybody's fascinated just throwing something in a tortilla. Sure. I joke, like people are like, because we try to keep everything simple, and we wrap it in foil, but even like growing up, when people are cooking out, everybody's eating next to the smoker, eating next to the grill. Like they're heating up tortillas, taking a piece of meat. Yeah. You got a fresh little salsa that you throw on top, or some pico. Yeah. And it was just, and then everybody's just congregating there.
But simple is sometimes the very best. But also too, what I've learned in this business is sometimes simplicity is not easy for people to facilitate.
Yeah, because there's you have to execute it, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of a room for errors. Yeah. But, like I tell everybody, that's the reason why we use 44 Farm. We pay that extra meat for that buffer. Right. Because, like, if you're using, less quality product, like, you're going to have to babysit a little more. With 44 Farms, like, we pay for that added insurance, a buffer of, to give us the highest quality of product at all times.
Plus, you get badass meat.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my video, but I went out there. And I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
I don't know if you know this, but Bob,
grew
up in Grand Prairie.
Oh, did he really?
He did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're so proud. Like, trying to make him proud all the time. He retweets us on Twitter all the time. Like, he's a great supporter. Jose's our rep, and he's like the most unbelievable guy. Takes care of us.
He's
really
a cool guy.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's helped us out. We did a collaboration with Rodeo Goat because they use 44 grams.
Right, I know. I shared that stuff. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
And it's just one of the things. Like, once you're part of the 44 family, like, everybody's like trying to help each other out because, like you said, it's tough times right now. It's tough. How do you make it a little fun? It's just do some collaborations.
I contacted Rodeo Goat because I wanted them to bring the Evan Grant burger in your brisket. And they said, "Oh, we won't have it at that time." So they're still participating. But they're going to do their bodacious burger, which I which I love.
It's I was blown away by the outpour that we got.
Did y'all sell a bunch of them?
I think we won by 2,300 votes.
Did you really?
Yeah. So
that's a lot.
That was really cool.
That's not even a narrow margin. That's a lot.
No, and Gerald, he told us that the burger we went against is one of their heavy hitters that they bring out. Yeah. So that was really cool.
It's hard to beat that Zavala brisket though.
Oh man, I think it's just because you can't get enough pepper. We go overboard in the pepper.
Yeah, but it's still delicious.
Yeah, it mellows out in cooking, but we're proud of that pepper.
My whole thing is about bark. Okay. I love bark. So now, like, I watch so many videos now, like TikTok stuff of people doing briskets, and when they unwrap that crap, it doesn't have a bark on it. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. You got to have a bark on there. Bark is the flavor to me.
Oh yeah, 100%. And a lot of people think that I'm gonna blow people's mind. They don't believe me. But we wrap in foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, you can't do that, but that's what we grew up with. It's Texas crutch. I know people call it, but that's what my dad did. That's what my father-in-law did. Yeah. But we do when we pull them out of foil, we wrap them in butcher paper. So the bark can set back because if not, it will fall off.
Right. Yeah. It gets moist and it falls off. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I didn't know you cooked in foil, but no, I see some. Terry Black does a lot of stuff in foil.
Yeah. I think they put some pieces of foil all around.
They do.
Yeah, we just wrap we go 10 hours smoke, and then we wrap it, then we go about another 3 hours, and then we pull, and then wrap in butcher paper and let it rest for like 2 or 3 hours and put it in the warmer.
That butcher paper's amazing. When that butcher paper sucks up all that barbecue grease, the succulent, savory deliciousness.
Oh yeah,
it just unwrapping it makes my mouth water.
No, it is a very fun thing to watch, especially when you have one of those beautiful briskets where it's just like it just gets tacky a little bit, and it's like, okay, this is a good brisket.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that people, the average person, they probably know. More people know now, but they used to did not know until Food Network and all social media and everything. But a lot of people, we've been in the beef business all my life, and a lot of people think that a brisket is a brisket. It's all the same. There's no two briskets that are exactly the same. No, there's no two cows are exactly the same.
Yep.
So when you get that good brisket, of course, the 44 Farms though,
it helps.
They just had. I think Jason was telling me, he called me when I talked to him a couple weeks ago. And their last testing, it was their prime was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's a whole different level of what they're grading out right now.
Yeah,
they're really proud of it, and it's an awesome product. We use every beef product that we can get. We use, like, we're going to do cheesesteaks tonight, and we're using 44 product for that. We're really excited about it.
Cheesesteaks.
Oh yeah, we're doing cheesesteaks.
I bet those are good.
Yeah. So have you ever been to Captain Nemo's?
No, one time. Long time ago.
Yeah. So one of the individuals were able to hire.
Oh, that's right. You told me. Yeah.
He started back in February. He actually worked for 2 weeks, and then the storm hit us.
Yeah.
But he was there for 18 months. So he was with the small business. So that was a great checkbox. It's like he gets it, and he's really passionate about it. He's been like, hey, before he even knew it, I wanted to do cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jose about it. They were bringing the meat out. And that was one of the main reasons I hired him. I said, so you know how to do cheesesteaks?
Yeah.
And we've done about 3 or 4 test runs. And
so how's a cheesesteak because I like them both, cheesecake and cheesesteak. How do you prepare that beef? How does that done?
No, so we're really fortunate that 44 is individually slicing it already for us.
Are you kidding me?
No, individually slicing, portion out 6 ounces each. So we're literally just taking out, putting it on, chopping it up, throwing the seasoning on it. Have a good roll. I may butcher the name. It's one of the bakeries out of New Orleans. So granted, we got to take some of the inside out.
I butcher all the names out of New Orleans.
I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to butcher. It starts with a G. But he has the oven going down and get it nice and toasted. And it's like it's not a Philly. It's a cheesesteak.
Right.
We have provolone, 44 beef, lettuce, raw onions, tomatoes, some herbs, red wine vinegar, and oil. And it's just a good classic. And you get bag. See, and this is the other thing.
You're a bag of chip guy.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
I think I know what it is. My dad worked for Frito-Lay for 25, 26 years.
What a great job. What a great company.
Oh, they were taken care of.
Yeah.
He worked at the plant in Arlington that made Funyuns and Monchos.
Yeah.
So we grew up with chips.
Right.
And so even we played sports, Pee Wee, my dad was the chip guy, brought all that stuff so we can sell and everything. And he, donated it because he got a good price on it.
Right.
So subconsciously, maybe that's why I do chips. And we just give a bag of Lay's because I don't think there's anything better with a burger or a sandwich.
No, but you know why?
Because
it's a potato and it's the salt content. Yep. They have the salt content exactly right on every damn chip.
Yep.
I don't care what chip you get from them, whether it's a flavored chip or whatever, the salt content is always perfect.
Yep. No, you're right about that. And I think it's just stuck in my head. And we do charge a premium for our food. So at a minimum, I want you to get a bag of chips. I want to throw that in because, you're paying for that, quality of beef. And like you said, we try to make it great, and it's also educating people on 44.
On beef in general.
Yeah, it's higher quality, so you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, but I promise you that it's gonna taste good. And the most beautiful thing is I say about 80%, 85% of our business is Grand Prairie,
right?
And they love it because we try to switch it up so people can still come support us. But you don't want barbecue all the time.
No, well, a lot of people can't afford barbecue all the time.
So, we do burgers. Yeah. We do Crispitos and cheese. We've done hot dogs and chili. Now we're doing cheesesteaks. Right. And, we started fajita night. We've done about 6, 7,
How's that
nights.
doing?
I thought people would be tired of it because so many people do fajitas. Yeah. But man, we're just getting busier and busier.
No, it's that beef, but it's the beef because you can go get fajitas. You can go pay $50 fajitas and they're damn gristly and they're tough, and that just makes me mad.
It pisses me off too.
Yeah,
and that was the main thing because I was looking I love these places. Your Papacitos, your Uncle Julio's.
I think that I love them.
And
smoky salsa.
Lupitas. Yeah. You order 2 and granted it comes with sides and everything. you're like, right, you're spending $60. So I was like, all right, what's a good price point? That's going to be able to feed a lot of people. And a pound of meat's a lot.
A lot, yeah.
And we cut it
a real pound of meat.
And we give them a pound of meat. And like the first time I did it, like I was like, holy cow, this is a lot. And you can feed 4 or 5 people easily off it. We give them 6 tortillas, we give them pico, we give them bell peppers, onions, and we give them red or green sauce and say, here you go. Because we were thinking about doing cheese, sour cream, but it was awesome because I started seeing people posting pictures of them pulling out their own sour cream.
Right, they're taking it home.
Yeah. So I'm like, why am I going to give you that? Because how many times you get pissed off that you don't get enough sour cream or cheese?
Right.
So I'm not even going to give it to you because you already have it at the house.
Right.
And you can make all the tacos.
Make it yours.
Yeah.
Because everybody that goes home has a different way they want to eat something, right?
100%.
As long as they got the beef, and if you're going to do you do grilled onions or anything? Okay, you do that?
Yeah, we do grilled onions and bell peppers and onions.
Yeah, you notice that cup, right?
I know.
Got
nice
that big pig.
Oh,
I
love
collect.
pork.
Yeah, we collect cups around here, and so it's always good. I try to match the cup up with the person.
I might have to ask Jose to get you a 44 cup. I don't know if you have one.
I don't have one. No, I don't have one.
We'll get you one. The coffee cup is good.
That day I was out there, man. I had to go 3 different places that day. I went all the way to 44 Farms from Dallas
Down
and
to
picked
Cameron.
people up.
Yep.
Down to Cameron. Left Cameron, went all the way back up to Tupp's Brewery in not Frisco. Wherever.
Yeah, Drew loves that.
McKinney.
Drew loves that brewery. That's one of his favorite breweries.
McKinney, yeah, and then back down to Deep Elm Distillery. We were filming all 3 different segments.
I don't know how you do it.
I just a lot of energy. I don't sleep very much.
You don't?
No.
I get a lot of 3:30 emails from you.
Oh yeah,
I'm impressed.
I know. Well, a lot of people think I'm out. It's because I'm out. No, I'm not. I just don't sleep much.
Yeah.
You can't. If I can get all my paperwork done before 9 o'clock in the morning and all the stuff I have to do, social media stuff, actual postings, and just answer and do other things, it's better.
Yeah, my wife. We get in a fight all the time because social media is a full-time job.
Full-time.
Because people want answers fast.
Yeah.
And you only have matter of seconds to respond. And,
right.
And people, I think we're really fortunate for our customers because they love us. And like, I know every once in a while we have a troll. We don't pay them any mind because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I want to make sure that we respond quickly. And that's like my biggest thing. And my wife's like, why are you always on your phone? I'm like, people are asking me questions. Like I got to get them a response. Like, I don't want them hanging.
Yeah.
Because even like my Monday through Friday job, my wife or my boss, she freaks out all the time. She's like, Joe, you just respond so quick. I'm like, if I don't respond right now,
right,
it's going to add up. Like, just get it done. Just get it done.
No, response. We're living in a techno world. And here's the deal. If you don't respond, 9 times out of 10, they think you got it and you're just not responding.
Yep.
And that's the worst thing that you
100%.
have. So I try, and you're right. Now mine's just gone completely out of whack, out of proportion. And I literally sit down and I try to answer every single one on every single site. But I do that in the mornings, because I just feel like they need to be answered, especially if they're going to spend the time to go visit, to follow us and go visit all this stuff that we report on, then I think they deserve an answer.
Yeah, 100%. And CJ, like, he's amazing. He comes up, like, I wish I can say I come up with the creative stuff. Nothing. It's all CJ. But like the day-to-day, just like responses and stuff, I handle all that. So some people are like, so is this CJ or is this Joe? And I'm like, no, you're talking to Joe.
That's funny.
And then, we have a lot of people that are in pop-ups or starting off. I'm an open book, and they, reach out. I answer as many questions as I can because I was there. I get it. Like, if I can teach you stuff that I did, so it saves you a little time of not screwing up, because I screwed up plenty of times.
We all do. That's how you learn.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna help out. Like, it is what it is.
You just led me into my next question I was going to ask you. What was the most difficult decision for you to go into the full-time barbecue business?
So, we felt comfortable that we were going to be able to pay the bills, doing what we were doing one day a week.
Right.
And I remember Daniel Vaughn's like, so you're not going to open up more days? I'm like, no, we're just going to do one day, And they're like, well, then our customers wanted more.
Right.
Then I felt like I owed it to them to provide more.
Right.
And because of that, we started needing help.
Right.
And then
that's when things start to take a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife quit her job 2 years ago.
Right.
She, had a successful career in kitchen and bath design for about 10 years.
Wow.
And she was tired of it. I said, well, what do you want to do? She was like, I like coffee. I like working out. I like organizing things. I said, okay. I said, why don't you open a coffee shop? She's like, what? I said, well, we're paying for this building that we're only using for one day.
Right, yeah.
Like,
let's get some more use out of it.
Yeah, just open a coffee shop. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. And we love Avoca out of Fort Worth.
Right.
And, I fell in love with them many years ago. And my wife is obsessed with coffee. And, we reached out to some coffee places, and Avoca was very responsive, awesome. They've been a great partner. And, they taught them her and Bonnie, they went all in, taught them how to brew it, got the machinery for us, came out and install it. And this June will be 2 years from them. So I'm like, okay, now we have Bonnie, who's a full-time employee. Then we hired Ellie, who was our second full-time employee. And then Joseph, who was CJ's little brother, who we hired at 17, that was washing dishes, cleaning tables. Yeah. Now he's pulling the briskets and seasoning the briskets. Ellie runs the whole show from the smokehouse. Right. Sorry, now we have 3 employees. Then we hired my mom, so now we have 4 employees. And all this time, my wife's still not getting paid, or myself. And we're like, okay.
Typical business.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, we got 4 employees. Then we hired another individual who's no longer with us, so we have 5 employees. So I think we're up to 8, going to be 9 employees. So now it's not about us. It's about us being able to provide for them so they can provide for their families or, be able to live comfortably.
Responsibility for you.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's not like, like your whole mind shifts, switches. Like, and everybody that's with us is family and friends. We just hired our first non-family friend with Drake, and then we have the second person who's about to start. So that'll be our second one that's non-family friend. But everybody has a sense of pride and ownership, and it's so hard to get that. You know how it is. Like, yes, I'm the owner, but I want every single person here to feel like they're part ownership of it, because it's just a whole different commitment level to it. And they do that. Like, the inspection of the like I tell them all the time, like, even in my business plan that I created 6 years ago, customer service and making people feel like they're part of their family from the first time they walked in is our only priority. Like, it's really hard to get fired from us. Like, I fired my mom 3 times already. She's came back 3 times.
You fired your mom.
Yeah, so it's like really hard to get fired. But the only way.
Wait, what was that like?
It was awkward.
How did that? Wait a minute, I gotta ask you. How'd that even come about?
My mom's great, but sometimes it's just
she's a mom.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you know what? It's not going to work out. And, but no, she's a vital part of it. Like, I wouldn't, I joke, but I wouldn't know what to do. I'm proud that she works for us, and, it's really close, and,
It's a family affair. You know what you always say? That article just says it's a family affair, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But I forgot where we were going.
You were talking. I do that to people because of my mind. I got to stop you so I can ask you the question, and then I set your mind off. We were talking about your employees and you opened your business and getting responsibility once you got employees.
Yeah, definitely. So now it's just like making sure that we can provide for them and being able, to take care of them and like anything they need. Like if they want new knives, new shoes, I'm like, just tell me. Let me go get it. Like I get it. Like, I don't want you to have to use the money out of your pocket. I want you to have fun to come to work, and I want you to be prideful. And I tell them at all times, customer service is number one, but also the plating always has to be ready for Instagram or social media.
All the time.
Like, if you would not want to take a picture of it, then you
don't send it out.
No. And that's why we have the sloppy one. We get to chop it up, put it in a thing, throw it in a taco. It's nice and messy.
Sloppy one. I love that taco.
Yeah.
I do.
But no. It's so everybody has a pride of ownership, and they know what the ultimate goals are. And we're all driving to that. We're always communicating. And I had to learn a lot because I was a terrible owner because I didn't know what I was doing. Because CJ's first brother, Jason, was with us when we were at the Brass Bean for the first year, and I learned from he taught me everything of how bad of a communicator I was. My communication skills were terrible. My expectation was like, why don't you get it? And it was a very humbling experience. We had a good heart-to-heart, and he made me better. And if it wasn't for him, all the people that we have now wouldn't, have the, hopefully I would have figured it out, but, they taught me how to treat our employees.
Sure.
Like,
You were in the assuming mode that they would just assume they could do it. They would do it without you having to.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way it works.
No.
I want to bring in some of the tacos because you brought some tacos.
Yeah, I brought some breakfast tacos that we serve.
Yeah, so we're gonna bring those in, and I want y'all to watch this video, please, about supporting local. And we'll be right back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey's Chowdown and host of Trey's Chowdown Live, a weekly TV show and radio podcast highlighting chefs, restaurants, and deliciousness. The restaurant and service industry is in big trouble due to COVID-19, and they could really use your help. While restaurants and service operations may look normal, they are far from normal. So many restaurants, food trucks, burger spots, barbecue joints, bars, and taverns are literally going broke by the hour and might get worse. So I'm asking everyone to help out the simplest way they can, and that is to please buy and shop local. Whether you're dining in, taking out, or get delivery, you are helping out your local businesses tremendously. Mom and pop owners, chefs, restaurants, and all of our service folks will be so very thankful that you're helping in this difficult time. Oh, and be generous on the gratuity when possible. Thank you so much, and thanks for supporting local. And I know y'all just watched that video, but it's just so important to support local right now, especially. But the biggest thing is to have patience.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have patience because I can't explain it unless you've been in the restaurant business, but it's easy to say, oh, why are they slow, or why is it taking so long, or why isn't this table clean? But it's just because they don't have any people, and you can only do so much with what you got. Yeah,
you're right. And I think if you can communicate that to the guests, and don't just assume again that they know what's going on, I think it can help out definitely on that.
That's a big word, assume, isn't it? It's got a lot of meanings.
Make an ass out of you and me real easy.
That's right. So we got some of your tacos here, and this is awesome. So these are the tortillas we were talking about. But you brought 3 different kinds of tacos.
Yeah. So the wife runs during the morning, Tuesday through Friday, Moss Coffee Co. from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Right.
We're actually featured in Taco Trail's article that came out in December, and we're part of the DFW Taco Trail.
Awesome.
For our breakfast tacos. So the staples that we always have every single day is our 44 Farm brisket, egg, and cheese tacos. Okay. Potato, egg, and cheese tacos. And then we play around during the week. Like I know Tuesday is Turkey Tuesday.
Right.
So we do turkey, egg, and cheese. Wednesdays they usually do sloppy wans. And then Thursday, it could be a mix up. Sometimes we smoke our own bacon, or we'll have some beef cheek that we use. And then Fridays is always beans, egg, and cheese, refried beans.
I didn't know you smoked your own bacon. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do. That's what we use for our brisket poppers.
So I want you to tell everybody, because I love sloppy wan. Tell everybody what sloppy wan is.
So the humbling beginning of the sloppy wan when we were at the Brass Bean was we learned from Jordan from Bodacious out in East Texas, a good sloppy Joe. So we're like, man, CJ came up with the name. I wanted to call it Sloppy Jose. He's like, no, your name's Joe. We're not using Jose. So we came up with Sloppy Wan, and then Jeb from Tumbleweed created the logo for us.
Right.
It's this little taco, holy bear sauce, and a little mustache. And it just became his brand of its own. So it used to be just whatever was on the board mixed with barbecue sauce that was in the taco. Well, everybody started ordering it. So we're like, oh, crap, we actually have to make a recipe for it.
Right.
So we use 44 Farm brisket, and we use pulled pork. And we use our sloppy wan sauce, our barbecue sauce, and it's just doused in it. So we just have it soaking all day as we're chopping up the stuff that's not good for Instagram, but still tastes great.
Yeah.
And it's probably a little over a quarter pound, maybe closer to a half pound, especially when I'm making them back there, because I go back to the humble. I'm just getting big old, because we want people to hands be full of barbecue sauce, and they're like. And the smart people that have been with us from the very beginning, they ask for 2 or 3 tortillas extra, so they can make 3 tacos out of it, because that's how much meat you're getting out of it. But no, it's just a sloppy Joe in a tortilla. Some people like throwing some green sauce on it, and they just they fell in love with it.
I love seeing the comments about sloppy wans on your like if I post something or about you or about a taco something, there's always 2 or 3 people comment about, so have some funny comment about a sloppy wan.
Oh yeah, it's grew into his own life of his own. It's his own person. And it's been great. It's especially, for all businesses, you don't want to have waste.
Right.
And I don't want to say that we have waste. It's just, again, we live in a world of social media that your food has to always be attractive and ready to take a photo.
Can't be holding it over.
No. So, we chop the stuff that doesn't look, pretty, and it's still wonderful tasting, and, mix it with some barbecue sauce and you get a taco out of it.
So I want you to tell everybody, because this right here, Ron, I'm gonna show us. Let me put this in a picture right here. See that little green sauce right there? That stuff right there. That's what I call crack.
Yeah.
And even my girlfriend calls it crack. So matter of fact, we have to fight over it because if I take the last of it, I'm gonna be in big trouble. So tell us how, because that's really, that sauce is savory. It's loaded with flavor. It's got enough heat on the back end to where it's not crazy. It's just flavorful. Mm-hmm. So how do you? And it's got a little salt taste to it. Mm-hmm. How do you make that?
Yeah. We're open book. So I wish we could take credit for it, but Jason, who is one of our first employees, came up with it. His recipe was a little complex, so we had to kind of like break it down because he was like, it takes habaneros in there, so he was just using habanero seeds. Ooh. I'm like, why are you like getting rid of the habaneros? Just use it all. So we started putting the whole habaneros, but it's all fresh. So people have been asking for us to bottle it, and we want to bottle it. We use a great person, Mason, who bottles our barbecue sauce out of Abilene, and he's been trying to figure it out. But the issue is it's all fresh.
Right.
So the shelf life is literally a week and a half.
Right. It won't taste the same.
And we have to buy 125 gallons. Right. We're going through probably about 10 to 15 gallons at the restaurant right now. So I would have to figure out how to get rid of 115 gallons. Yeah. And I don't think I could sell 115 gallons of green sauce. It is the days when they make the green sauce, it is so potent, you're just choking as they're making it. But it's poblanos, it's serranos, it's cilantro, it's habaneros, it's olive oil, it's garlic, and salt.
But a lot of garlic.
A lot of garlic.
But when you get the finished product, it may be that way when you're making it, but when you get the finished product, it's not hot. Yeah, it's just got a mild flavor, but mild heat to me.
Yeah, it'll hit you and it goes away.
Right.
That's the thing about it. It doesn't linger all the time.
Right.
But and even like because everybody says their sauce is good, and I just say, yeah, whatever, and people tell us it's good. I'm like, okay, but when we've had many people like yourself and other food critics, like every single one brings up the green sauce.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, when we had Daniel Vaughn on, like, we call it the green sauce, and he's like, yeah, it's a barbecue sauce. It's a green barbecue sauce. I was like, you know what? I never thought about it. It's like, yeah, I guess it is barbecue sauce. It's our barbecue sauce. But, we don't have, like, a fancy name. We just call it green sauce. And and that's what we've been calling it from, the very beginning. And then we have the red sauce. That's a mild one. And, and the people like to mix it. Some people mix the red and green together on their tacos.
Yeah.
And then my wife loves it because we have regulars that come every day for breakfast tacos, and they'll literally take one little green sauce and it'll last 2 days. So there's like, no, we have green sauce from yesterday. So thank you to those people. That's awesome. And then we have other people say, hey, can I get like 6 extra ones? We're like, yeah.
Well, I just because I'm an overuser of everything. If I like something, I'm going to overdo it, whether it's brisket or sauce or whatever. And when I get that stuff, I put it on my eggs. I put it on salads. I put it on everything. It's just delicious.
Yeah, it really, really is good. Hopefully one day we can find the right partner that can work with us right now for the amount that we need. And as we grow, I know we're going to need at one point, hopefully one day.
But you can't if you change the recipe for preserves and stuff, it's not going to taste the same.
No,
it will never come the same if you do that.
No, and that's the thing that I'm really proud of our partner Mason. He said, I can't do it, Joe. Like I try to put the stuff in there, it just doesn't taste the same. Like I'm not going to give you a product that's not who you are. And I said, I'm appreciative of that. And he's looking to see if we can find somebody that could do it fresh. So if anybody knows anybody that could do fresh salsa and wants to work with us from the beginning, we're open to talking to people.
Good fresh salsa, not something made in the kitchen sink.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So your red sauce too, you make that, and you make your barbecue sauce.
Yeah. So we did make our barbecue sauce. Mason makes bottles and makes our barbecue sauce.
It's your recipe though.
It is.
Where'd you come up with a recipe for that?
I wish I could say it was my great grandpappy, but it wasn't. It was just the stuff that we played around with and worked with Mason and said, all right, this is what we like. This is what we do. He does it for a living. So we were able, it took us about 2 months to figure out exactly what we wanted to do because it has a little kick to it. And we wanted to make sure it was going to work really good with the sloppy ones.
Things taste better with a story. That's my motto. Everything tastes better with a story. So you come up with a story about how you were camping and you were out of something and you put this stuff together in the middle of nowhere. And
I joke with everybody it's my great grandpappy, but it wasn't. But the red sauce actually is my father-in-law's red sauce.
Okay.
He taught us how to do it about 8 years ago. We've been using it. It's always been a hit. It's actually, for me, it's my favorite salsa just with chips.
So I always see you and your wife running around. What's your wife's name?
Kristen.
I always see y'all working together, working hard, or she's doing her thing, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
What's been because let me tell you something, working with your wife in a business is difficult.
It's so hard.
No, maybe it's not for y'all.
No, it's the hardest thing in the world.
Okay. So what was the hardest thing when y'all started? What was the hardest thing you two had to learn as husband and wife to run the business together?
We're still learning right now.
Okay.
We're not there. And she'll say that too. Because I'm a very passionate person.
Yeah.
And I'm very 100 miles an hour.
Right.
She's complete opposite of me. She's very chill.
Well, she's got to be passionate because she's doing it.
Yeah, no. She is. She always tells me, she said, barbecue's your dream, coffee's my dream. And she's right. And that's why, as we're growing, I'm growing my Zavala's team so she can put all her efforts with Bonnie in Moss Coffee Co. because that's her dream.
Sure.
And she's helping me a lot with Zavala's Barbecue because I have a full-time job and I love my job and I don't see myself leaving it. And so I'm just finding the right people that has the same passion as we grow. So she's, seeing both things, but, I want to make sure she can live out her dream, and that's a coffee shop. And that's the other thing I have to keep reminding myself because our barbecue business is a little busier right now than the coffee, but their coffee business is steadily increasing. And it's just figuring out for me, how do I communicate and how do I not yell? Because she's always like, Joe, you're yelling at me. I'm like, I'm not yelling. And
I'm discussing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's teaching me that hey, just calm down. Because another thing that she gets frustrated with is I'm always thinking 5 years ahead.
Right.
She's like, Joe, can we just think about today? I'm like, no. We'll figure this stuff out. we gotta be ready for this.
Yeah. And
she's like, I don't want to think about that. I want to think about this. So, it's a good play.
She's living in the here and now in reality.
Yeah,
and that's what entrepreneurs do. They think about things, but also too, the funny thing is, if you think about it, even though it's difficult, you couldn't do it without each other.
Oh no. I call her the GM. She's a GM of the whole place. And
GM of you.
Yeah, GM of me. Yeah. Because even our employees, I tell them, listen to Chris and don't listen to me. Because I just screw everything up. Because I'm in there, I'm like, no. And they're like, well, that's not what Kristen said. I'm like, okay, then listen to what she said. Don't listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she keeps me in check because I'm always saying yes. And she's the one's having to figure out how we're going to do it. And I'm real appreciative of that. I wouldn't be able to do it without her. And we have a great team. We have Bonnie, who's been with us since day one, even when she was the one that showed up with Drew and they never left. And she's amazing. She does all our ordering, does all the coffee. She's been, Saturday mornings with us since, the start.
It's tough to find Friday, Saturday people are tough to find. You know why? People don't go have a good time on Friday and Saturday. So it's tough to find.
But we're having a good time too.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, no, you're right.
In general.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, we're really fortunate. And then, Drew, it's been helping out, since, the pop-up days. And then CJ does our social media. And then we have his little brother, Joseph, who started off as, a busboy and washing dishes. Now he's pulling briskets. Ellie, I wouldn't be able to do anything without her. She is literally Ellie. She runs a smokehouse. She's my everything.
Ellie's kind of when was Ellie born? Was she middle-aged or what is?
Ellie's
because the name's kind of unusual. It's not.
Yeah. I think she's a twin. And I think she's the oldest in their family.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's the most. I don't know what I'll do without her.
I like the name, yeah.
Yeah, she's a rock star. I taught her everything I know. She's teaching me stuff. She keeps everybody aligned. I'm really lucky to have her. Then Drake just started. And then we have Daly, who runs our cash register. She's been with us since she was 12. She's 15 now, so she actually can get a paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
that's cool.
Oh, she's absolutely passionate. And it was kind of funny because we just put this saying up that we painted inside. It says slinging 8 briskets while chugging beers at the being one of the championship game.
Yeah.
And everybody that's part of the initial, they smile because it was the coolest thing ever. When we were doing the pop-ups, we were making 8 briskets and we thought it was the most awesome thing ever.
Yeah.
And when she saw that, she smiled. She was like, again, this, she's 15 years old. She's like, that's so cool. And it resonating with her. And I was like, all right, then that is 100% CJ came up with it. That is our motto. We're never going to forget that feeling of, when we're making 8 briskets and selling it and being, proud that we made it.
So let me ask you this. You were doing 8 briskets in. How many briskets you slinging a week now?
Like I was telling you earlier, we're busier now than pre-COVID. We're going through Fridays about 22. On Saturdays, we're doing about 26. And then we have a couple of huge caterings that are coming up that, we're having to do 20 or 30 each for that. Today we just got, because we're trying to get ahead, we just got 65 cases of brisket in today. So,
is there a point where 44 Farms it gets low or runs out, or?
Oh yeah. We've got back in the day we've weren't able to get it.
Yeah. And I know they're working on their herds. I know they're increasing their herds. But
it is. But there's only so many. Because you have to understand, you only get 2 briskets, right?
Right.
You get 7,000, 8,000 pounds of ground beef.
Right.
So how many people want ground beef?
Yeah.
Granted, I know a lot of people want ground beef now, but that's why we try to become a good partner, even though that we're paying a premium. Is we're using their beef ribs, we're using their beef cheek, we're using their hamburger meat. Yes, we got their briskets, but we're using their Philly meat. We're using their hot dogs. Like, we use every beef product that they have.
Do you know what that equates to for you? One word: deliciousness.
It does, but we're fully committed, and because I know people just want the briskets, but we're paying a premium, but we want to use a high quality beef, and again, we're paying for that buffer insurance. And everybody knows coming in that they're getting 44 beef, they're getting high quality, and they get excited about it. And it's part of the education. And they say, like, I get why I'm paying this extra amount, because I know it's going to be good.
Yeah, I hate now when I I put my list out this year. I focused a lot on beef ribs, and I've had, I don't know, man, I can't even tell, people have messaged me back or made comments. Well, man, you didn't tell me it's so expensive. I never put a price on it anyway, because you know why? You can't put a price on good meat, and the meat's going to fluctuate with the market.
100%.
You can't do that. And if you want good meat, if you want a good beef rib, if you want a good brisket, then you're going to have to pay for it. If you don't, go get you some dried up, crusty beef somewhere. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, so we're doing a free brisket class on May the 15th, and I thought nothing. I was like, let's just do it free. Like, let's see what happens. So we had about 60 people, or actually 55 people sign up. I was like, holy shit, and that was in 24 hours. And then I said, all right, I gotta get a commitment that you're gonna be here if you're gonna bring your own brisket, or if you like to purchase a brisket from us. And 42 people committed to
come and purchase some briskets.
And 20 people committed to purchase a brisket. And I was like, holy shit. So I was like, this is really cool. Like, so we're gonna see. Like I told people in the email, I was like, this is our first time, so don't kill us. But we'll do a class we're gonna do the class from 8 to 10, where we're gonna teach them how to trim the brisket, what to do with the trim, how to cook it, how to season it. We're gonna vacuum seal it up for them and write their name. They can take it home so they can cook it when they want, or throw it in the freezer and cook it whenever. They can purchase some seasoning from us if they want. Then after that, they get 10% off. Come order some Zavala's Barbecue if they want. And then we'll go back and do a fireside chat for an hour. Ask any questions you want. Because, we get messages, like I said, all the time asking us questions. So I was joking with CJ. I was like, we should just call this a Zavala Pop-Up Academy. Because, we start off as a pop-up. Let's embrace it. Like, this is who we are. So, we're calling this Zavala's Pop-Up Academy. And that's
awesome, though.
Yeah. So, we'll just see where it goes.
CJ's not a bad guy. He's pretty creative, isn't he?
Oh, he's the most creative guy I know.
Yeah.
He's done a stand-up. We did a stand-up with some of our people through Zavala's Barbecue. That's his ultimate passion, is comedy. And, hopefully one day we can push him to, do a little more.
You ought to have comedy night.
Yeah. That's what we want to do one day. That'll be the ultimate goal. So we're really excited about it.
So, okay, now before we get out of here, I want to know, what are all your social media handles? Just all Zavalas?
Yeah, so we try to make it simple as possible for everybody. I know we spell out barbecue, B-A-R.
You do spell out barbecue, because it makes me so damn mad when I go to put your thing in. I got to spell out barbecue.
I know. And looking back at it, I probably should have did Zavala's with an S, BBQ.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. It's all right.
It's a Zavala's with an S, then BARBECUE, and that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all the same. We try to make it the same for everybody.
And y'all stay up with all of it.
Oh yeah.
And what's the coffee shop?
The coffee shop's at Moss, M-A-S Coffee Co. C-O.
At Moscow.
Or at Moss Coffee Co. Sorry.
At Moss Coffee Co.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Moss Coffee Co. And what are those hours?
So they are Tuesday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. But we hope with the new guy coming in that we can start serving breakfast tacos on Saturday too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
So they get breakfast tacos that time.
That is the ultimate goal.
All right, that's awesome. All right, guys, Joe, I really appreciate you coming this week.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It went by quick, didn't it?
It did.
Just flies right by.
I appreciate everything you do for the restaurant industry.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, May 14th, again, I want to just keep harping on this. May 14th, we got our best burger list coming out. Everybody loves burgers. It is actually it's actually our first biggest list. Next to our barbecue list, because people just love burgers, and people can afford burgers more than they can eat more burgers, and they can't barbecue. It's just the way, especially if you got a family of 4. Whoa, it's expensive. So check that out. We have an invite on Trey's Chow down on Facebook. Go there, check the invite, and you'll get all the notifications and different pictures of burgers and restaurants that are going to be involved. It's going to be on ABC Channel 8. That's ABC Channel 8 Daybreak, and Joe will be there. Excited. And real quick before I forget about it, I was going to say this much. Thursday night's fajita night right now.
Thursday night's fajita night, 44 Farm Fajitas.
Right. And can they get burgers every day?
No. So burgers, well, after the list, we're probably going to have to do burgers every Friday because of you. So
okay.
It looks like it's going to happen that way.
Okay. So, but for Thursdays, fajitas, and then they get burgers on Friday if you're selling them.
Yep. Or we do Crispitos on Friday nights too.
Crispitos.
Yeah, yep. And then we have a full barbecue menu on Friday lunch and Saturday lunch.
Okay. I had to get over that because before I forgot it. Yep. So, and if you haven't liked our social media, Trey's Chowdown, you can go to my website, treyschowdown.com. It's got all the social media, but if not, we are on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr. Hell, we're TikToking now.
Gotta do
Facebook,
it.
man, TikTok, that's the greatest platform.
It is.
The videos are absolutely, I love the videos. The quality of the videos.
They put a lot of effort. It's a full-time job.
8 hours a day, social media, at least 8 hours a day. That's the very least amount of time that I do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. Joe, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tell your wife I said thanks for keeping you in line.
I will.
See y'all next week, same time, same bat channel. Go eat some barbecue at Zavala's.
Love it.
Or a burger. See you next week. Adios.
Welcome to the River Ranch Stockyards Event Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios.
Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.